you.
Oh, sure. You want to be in it too? Okay. One, two, three.
Now if I can ask Officer Billman and Wife Leggett to come forward. I'll kind of drive on through this. All right, so you raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I state your name.
I, Jackson Billman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of the state of Minnesota,
the laws of the state of Minnesota,
and the ordinances of the city of St. Anthony.
and the ordinances of the city of St. Anthony.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never betray my badge,
I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character, or the public trust.
my character, or the public trust.
I further affirm
I further affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
justly, and impartially
justly, and impartially
discharge my duties as a law enforcement officer
discharge my duties as a law enforcement officer
in providing assistance and service
in providing assistance and service
to all that look to me for help to the best of my ability.
to all that look to me for help to the best of my ability.
Very good. And Officer Billman asked his wife, Leggett, to pin his badge.
Or wearing yellow. I'm just kidding. She's doing the
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't hear what Lily said. I didn't hear.
Like when she was pinning the badge?
No, she just said something.
Oh, I didn't.
That's sweet.
Hold on, just 1 second. If you're here for the swearing in. They took your words to heart.
They really did. It's okay. And I'm wondering, Council, are there any, Chief Spees, thank you for introducing our newest officer. Any remarks from Council with regards to our welcoming newest officers? Councilman Randall.
I just want to say welcome. You're in a great community. You're with a great police force, with great leadership, with great culture. You'll be just fine.
Councilor DeLuca.
I just want to say the same thing. Welcome to the community. You know, we take pride in our officers, and we really strive to provide you the resources that you need to be successful. And I look forward to having you here. Thank you.
Excuse me, yes, I also welcome you to this community, and we really appreciate the service that you provide for us as a team and as individuals, and appreciate the leadership that's in this community from the police department. Thank you.
Or Nadine?
I actually met these, no, just kidding, I only got pulled over that one time. Welcome, this is an excellent police force. I truly cannot say enough good things about the leadership involved. You guys are gonna be great.
Both Dalton and Jackson, thank you for choosing our community. We know in this day and age you could have chose any community. It's not lost on us that you chose to serve here in St. Anthony and communities of Falcon Heights and Lauderdale. You're also joining a department, and I'm so proud of the core values of courage, compassion, and integrity. The other piece that I'm really grateful for with our police department is how closely you work with our fire departments. And I appreciate in swearing-ins when fire department staff come to support officers and vice versa. When we're welcoming new fire department staff, police are there to welcome them as well. So we have a very unique culture here in St. Anthony that I'm very grateful for, the level of teamwork, collaboration, and deep care for one another. And that is something really special. Thank you for joining this culture, and we look forward to your continued service here in St. Anthony. So, and thank you for all the officers who and their family who came to support our two newest team members, and very grateful to have all of you on our department. And now, for those who would like to leave our meeting, you're welcome to do so, or you can stay for the rest of our meeting. But thank you for joining us.
Maybe drink.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Yep, I remember.
We'll see you around, hopefully not too long.
Hopefully it's not like that. So.
And then span the room one more time, like when it starts again, just to show when it starts again.
All right, council, the next item on our agenda is item 6, consent agenda.
Behind us.
These items are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There won't be separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests. In that event, the specific item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed elsewhere on the agenda. At this time, is there anything the council would like removed from the consent agenda? Seeing and hearing none, City Manager Yunker, please review the consent agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor Council. So tonight on your consent agenda, you have minutes from your previous regular meeting, licenses and permits, and I'll note that you had an updated one. I came to you before the meeting with one more license to put through for tonight. We have claims, and then lastly, a resolution that authorizes staff to sign a contract to get some custom cabinetry and shelving going for the liquor stores remodel. So you'll hear more about that from Mike Larson later in the meeting.
Councilor, are there any questions regarding the consent agenda? Seeing and hearing none, is the council member willing to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I move approval of consent agenda as presented.
No second?
We have a motion by Councilmember Onegdi, second by Councilmember Jensen. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. That brings us to item 7 on our agenda, which is a public hearing, of which we have no public hearing tonight. Which brings us to item 8, reports from commission and staff, and we have no reports from commission and staff either. Which brings us to item 9, general business of the council. And the first item under general business of the council, we have 3 items. And council, just as an FYI, the first 2 are information only. No motion to approve or accept the reports as needed. And the third report that we have in front of us, again, we'll be providing an update on the rebranding process. So, starting with the administration annual report, we'll be learning from City Manager Yunker, and will Assistant City Manager Morello be joining you as well? Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for starting us off with the administration report.
Thank you, Mayor Council. So I will kick it off first, and then hand it off. So we begin kind of what I kind of generally refer to as annual report season. So over the next few meetings, we kind of roll through all the departments and kind of covering, highlights of the previous year, and as well as just trying to kind of talk about, what each department does. So kind of a mix of, here's what we do every time, every year, our standard, things, and then, what are kind of some highlights that we try to pull out, for your highlight for you and highlight for the public as well. Within the our administration annual report, we also kind of mention council as well. So we do a city council annual report brochure, similar to the other departments. This is really basically a recap of our goals and accomplishments that you covered in goal setting. So it just kind of highlights the fact that at least for the administration department, one of our primary roles is to support you as a council. So our council, as it appears now, is U5, and as you well know, you had an election this past fall with no change. So this is our city council for the next couple of years. So our annual report, our work really starts with the previous year's strategic plan. We do that session each January, as you well know, that sets really the direction on what particular priorities you have as a council and we have as staff that we need to focus on. I should say all, maybe mostly over all and above our daily routine. 2025 meetings that you have done as a council. So as you can see, you do a number of meetings each year, 22 regular council meetings, 27 work sessions, and at least 15 other community engagement events. That's been a big priority, for you as a council. You also have joint meetings that you have with commissions and school board, and then as administration department, we're also supporting housing redevelopment authority meetings, planning commission, and parks and environmental. So, and it's just interesting to note that there were 87 different resolutions passed, 7 different ordinances adopted, and then 6 HRA resolutions passed as well in 2025. So the administration department. So at this point we have 7 people that make up the entire administrative team. Myself as city manager, Ashley Morello as assistant city manager, of course. This year we welcomed Nicole Dedine as our city clerk. She works in a part-time capacity. We're able to do that here in St. Anthony mainly because we don't administer elections ourselves. Ramsey County handles that for us and is also able to coordinate with Hennepin County. We cover 2 counties, so there are actually 2 separate processes that have to happen. So we're fortunate for that, but of course fortunate to have Nicole on board to help with those city clerk responsibilities the rest of the job. Just going in order on the screen, Steve Gribman is our city planner. He's contracted. He serves a handful of cities, and again, really fortunate to have someone like him who is trained legally as well as in city planning. It's a great background. So, and then next is Melissa Solog, who you well know is our sustainability coordinator. And then next is Jill Spidell, who joined us this year, is our human resources coordinator. And then lastly, we have Barb Twaneman, who is our communications coordinator. So, I didn't necessarily, highlight specifics about everybody, but I just want to say, generally speaking, this is a tremendous team of people that covers a lot of different functions, all kind of in one department. It's not, I wouldn't say necessarily random, but it's a conglomeration of different functions, right? And we're all here to support all the departments as the best we possibly can. So I appreciate all of their efforts each and every day. So that just kind of leads into what does the administration department really do? Really what we're here for is to implement the city council priorities and oversee the operations of the departments to deliver services every day. That's basically what we're here for. So what that entails is the council and commission support, preparation of meeting packets, personnel support across the city, communications, sustainability, planning, city clerk, and if there is an involvement in elections, even though it's minor, and then human resources as well. So with that, I'll pass it on to Ashley.
So then, in terms of some of the key actions that we've completed in 2025. First, we're gonna start with some city code and planning updates. Some of the key takeaways that we had implemented in 2025 was updating passing key city ordinances. In particular, earlier this year, the council had passed an ordinance pertaining to regulating the sale of tobacco products. That is really in alignment with our city goal related to safe and secure. Next, we wanted to highlight the ordinance that we passed pertaining to regulating rentals. So that was essentially twofold. First and foremost, we had prohibited short-term rentals, which are essentially rentals 30 days or fewer. And then we had also, the other piece of that was capping the number of single-family rentals citywide. And that was in the spirit of trying to make strides towards our Thriving Village goal. And then the final ordinance that I want to call out is the setting the minimum EV charging requirements. This was specifically for multifamily housing, setting those minimum standards. That's it's one of the, actually it's related to one of the actions from our climate plan. So we're able to move forward on that climate plan, and then also it's in line with one of our broad city goals of environmental responsibility. Moving on next to communications and engagement. A lot of this is helmed by our communications coordinator, who does really wonderful work. And essentially the cornerstone of this role is to promote our services, share our stories, and essentially build that trust between the city and residents. And we do that through a number of the platforms that we have, including social media, utilizing our website, things like, and then as well as direct mailings. Some of the key focus areas for 2025 was digital accessibility. That's something that we've shared with this group, making sure that our website and materials on our website are digitally accessible, as well as in the spirit of this council's interest, having targeted community engagement. And our communications coordinator has been really essential in providing materials for those various engagement events. And then other broad projects we want to just call out that our communications coordinator has had a really vital role in is reorganizing our website, which sounds exhausting, but is very fruitful. And then, let's see, and then as well as making those routine adjustments to our social media, having that social media presence. Our social media and Facebook has improved throughout the year, which is great to see. Moving on then to our human resources. So this is work that is held by our human resources coordinator, and essentially this is an effort to essentially adhere to our organizational culture and show how we value our employees and also support professional development. And that really falls under our city's goal for organizational strength, specifically related to workforce growth and stability. One thing that we wanted to call out in particular is something that we have observed, like many agencies, following the pandemic, we did see what society called the Great Recession, where some staff were leaving their places of work and looking for new opportunities. And we have noticed in our community since 2021, that's actually stabilized. So we have done really intentional work about targeted engagement for that retention. We're really seeing that pay off, which is really wonderful to see. And also notably is that not only are folks staying here, but we also have people who are coming back. They gave it a try out of here, and they were like, nope, I'm coming back to St. Anthony, which is truly tremendous, and that is wonderful to see. The other thing that we want to note in terms of human resources is certainly we do employee recognitions, and our employee recognition, as part of that, we select a Spirit of St. Anthony award winner. And this year we are very excited. We're excited every year, of course, but this year in particular we are very excited because our very own Barb Tromanen was named our Spirit of St. Anthony award recipient. So we are very excited that we have it. We are the reigning champs in the administration department. So we hope it's real. But truly, very well deserved, and Park does a wonderful job, and I'm really grateful that, that we have such good staff that recognize game. All right, moving along to our sustainability programs. These are efforts that are coordinated by our sustainability coordinator. So there are a number of things that this position oversees. First and foremost, events. For folks at home who are unfamiliar with our various sustainability events, you can see the list here. And if you are not informed, we encourage you, please look for channels. We had mentioned our website and social media. Please utilize those channels as well as stay informed on our village notes. Keep an eye on some of those upcoming events because those are things that do occur each year. But then also the other thing that we want to acknowledge is that we have received a number of recognitions related to sustainability programs. First and foremost, we have continued to, in 2025, we continue to maintain our Green Step 5, which is a wonderful recognition that we really value here. We were also awarded some Gold Leaf Challenge awards for 6 actions, and then another element is that we were recognized for the 9th year for the Tree City program. Moving on to plans. These are our plans broadly, but they are all under the sustainability umbrella. This is something that we've come to appreciate, that we've really adopted a number of plans in the past couple of years that I don't think is typical for us. So it's given our sustainability coordinator a lot of work to do and a lot of actions to work on implementing. So first and foremost, we have our climate plan that was adopted in 2023, but we've been working through those action items. In 2025, we essentially viewed it as a phased approach where we really focused on the energy and transportation action items. And you can see that there's a number of actions that we moved forward with that. In terms of our other plan, another plan that we adopted was the energy action plan that was adopted in April of 2025. And essentially this was a plan where we partnered with Partners in Energy, which is an Excel program, and they helped us put together this plan, and then following the plan, they've helped us out with implementation, and there is essentially an 18-month window where they are supporting us with outreach, education, and so that implementation is currently underway. And then the final plan that we're going to call out is the active transportation plan. Throughout 2025, the key action items for this was drafting, developing and drafting the active transportation plan. So as part of that development, that included a local planning team that was comprised of diverse stakeholders and a wide variety of expertise, as well as city representatives and representatives from the public as well. We did a bike and walk audit throughout the community, which was a really fun day. We had also done a number of engagement events where we got to hear from people, get a better understanding of what walking, biking, and rolling looks like in our community today. And then, so while that was the main focus in 2025, this group knows, and just so the public knows, we did actually adopt this plan early in 2026. So more to come on that. Let's see, our next item related to sustainability, we have our Solar on Public Buildings initiative. This was an opportunity that we were awarded based on a grant through the Minnesota Department of Commerce. Essentially, it has allowed us to install solar on 2 of our government buildings. We have our water treatment plant, which has been, the solar panels there have been installed and they are fully operational. And then our public works facility, those solar panels have been installed and they are pending some regulatory review before being online. So more to come on that. With that, it's back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. So community affiliation. So we call this out each year of note for a couple reasons. One, this tends to represent generally the organizations that the city has some kind of formal or even if it's kind of ceremonial kind of relationship with. So there's lines of communication throughout the community, and also it helps us at least be able to manage all the requests that come to us, utilize city channels for things that are outside of actual city business, which of course we want to accommodate as much as we possibly can, but we do have to just kind of draw a line somewhere, so to speak. But always all of our communication channels are intended to be things that we believe the community is looking to hear about, whether we're doing it directly or another organization in the community. Grants and cooperative ventures. So in a similar vein here where, this collage of logos is not meant to be an exhaustive list, but, a representation of the many, many different organizations that we work with, to go about our daily business, with the city, whether it be contractual, whether it be simply relational, whether it be jurisdictional overlaps, what have you. There's a lot of collaboration that goes on regionally in order to kind of carry out the city business day to day. And then each year we just note, and you'll hear this a couple times through annual reports about all of the grants that the city has, gone after over the years. And tracking was started in 1998, and to date that's just over $35 million that we've been able to bring to the city through those efforts. And as you well know, having Manette on board now, to have time in that sustainability environmental realm to seek out and look into all those grants is a huge help. Because it does take a lot of time and effort to find out what fits well and what doesn't, and then go through those processes. So looking forward into 2026. So generally coming from goal setting as well as just kind of what we do day to day. And on the administration front, we're going to continue professional development for our emerging leaders, here at the city. Continue our stewardship of open meeting laws and better practices and putting together packets and all that infrastructure that has to go into that. Communications, continue to work on ADA compliance as well as over and above accessibility. Really trying to strategically use communication channels to demonstrate the value that the residents are getting. And then prioritize connections in all areas of the community through our channels. Sustainability, implementation of the number of plans that Ashley just recently reviewed. And this year the big focus on waste and water categories. Under planning, begin that preparation for the 2050 comprehensive plan process. And then you will be talking about some housing policy items here, just overseeing, get that process going. And then with the commissions, just continue to support their work plans and then whatever may come in front of them. Building on what Ashley mentioned recently on how people can get information. We have our traditional print stuff that has been around for decades and decades. We continue to try to build the social media following and use the tools that people are using to get information. And then continue to build on our notifications. That's been part of our website platform for a while now. That we try to have enough categories that covers the topics people want to see. And then do topical things like street projects, for that neighborhood that needs that for a short time. It's a great way to communicate with them. So we encourage everyone to sign up for anything that would be of interest, and it helps us get the word out that way. All of our annual reports can be found online. Barb does a great job, and really all the staff do in each department, I should say, putting together these brochures each year. As some of the council may remember, we used to do more of a booklet kind of research paper type format, which was great for memorializing information, but there was no way people were really reading that and getting anything out of it. So we try to go to this kind of format that we can have at the liquor stores and the front desk, and hopefully people grab them even out of interest. Even if they just flip through it 30 seconds, at least they get something and they know where they can find some information. So appreciate everyone that puts the work through this, and especially the admin team for doing this one. So I just want to wrap by just expressing my thanks again to the entire team. I wouldn't be able to do what I do each day without Ashley, and now that I see Barb and Jill in the back, I wish I'd known that. I would have teased them on something, but I'm glad that I'm happy they stayed. And even though they're not all here, I appreciate all their efforts every day. It makes it honestly enjoyable to come to work each day. So thank you all for that. So with that, happy to answer any questions that you have.
Council, what questions or comments do you have for Mr. Yunker and Ms. Brown? Councilor Dooley?
Thank you, Mayor. No questions. I just want to say what a great year you guys have had. I especially appreciate all of the progress we made in sustainability. It's wonderful to have Manette here, and you can see the work that we are able to move forward because of her. Not that you guys are all great, but
Councilor Councilor Johnson.
I just want to say thank you so much for working here in St. Anthony. The amount of activities that you have to coordinate and implement and do really benefits the city. The strategic planning process we have in January, comes off very well. We got a lot of input from a lot of our guests, and it's just well put together. And it takes time and effort, planning way in advance. So, anyways, thank you for helping St. Anthony be a better place.
You guys are crushing it. Appreciate you.
I just wanted to share, I loved the picture of administration. I wrote a note, the mighty team of 7. And when I think about one of the things that makes our local government really unique is that culture of collaboration and the mighty team of 7, the ways in which you support all staff, all departments, all commissions, and then us fine individuals, as council members. The tone and culture that you practice and model really pays off, and we see examples of that in each one of our departments too. So thank you for your leadership, and Barb and Jill especially as well. Leadership matters, and how you lead matters, and how you value people and the work they do is really important, and I'm really grateful how you choose to lead and do this work here. So that brings us to item B under general business of the council, which is our liquor operations annual report. Again, no action is needed on this or the update that follows, but we'd like to welcome Mr. Mike Larson to the podium. Looking snazzy, it's a great suit.
Thank you. No, they just give me the keyboard. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council, City Manager Yunker, and Assistant City Manager Morello. Appreciate being here tonight. As many times before, I get the opportunity to present the 2025 report for our municipal liquor stores, St. Anthony Village Wine and Spirits. My presentation tonight provides a brief overview of sales and profits of the stores during 2025. I also have included a few accomplishments and activities of our stores for your enjoyment tonight. Before I start, I'd like to introduce some staff that is in attendance tonight. We have Assistant Operations Manager Bill Haugen, full-time clerk Joshua Hudson, and also our remodeling consultant Brenda Visnovic, who has about, if not longer, years in the business as I do. So she's been helping us with the ideas and the planning and the budgeting and the meeting with all the vendors for the remodels of the store, remodeling of the store. And one thing in particular that I want to thank the administration for is that she's been accepted to the family here. So we're all working together and coming up with a good product for the future. So I'd like to start off, first of all, a little background about our stores. We have one located in the south end of town that we refer to as Marketplace location. It's at 2700 Highway 88, and it's located in the parking lot across from the Village Pub. At the north end of town, we have the Silver Lake Village store, which is at 2602 39th Avenue, and that is located right to the south of Cub Foods. We have been in business since 1948, and we're part of 176 cities with municipal liquor operations. Our mission and vision statement. Our mission statement defines the reason why we are in the business, and that is to control the sale of regulated consumables while generating revenue for the city. Our vision statement is something we're committed to, as we believe it outlines what we do, develops our store brand, and the vision statement was created with our customers in mind and what we believe they want for a shopping experience at our stores. The value of a municipal liquor operation is obviously to generate revenue, control the sale, and serve our community with trust, safety, service, and inclusion. Our profits are transferred to the city's general fund and can be used at the mayor and council's discretion. We are a connected culture that actively engages with our community, with events that bring the community and visitors to our stores by providing a welcome, inclusive environment. Our sales and profit comparison from 2025 to 2024, and I want to remind everyone watching and our mayor and council that this is unaudited information at this point, and the city has not concluded with the city's annual audit yet. We did show a sales decrease of $160,000, a gross profit increase of $25,000, and operational expenses increased $46,000. And overall, our net income decreased $21,200. We are pleased with the unaudited figures considering the current alcohol beverage retail market and the overall reduction of beverage consumption. Our 5-year profit history shows a relatively stable environment. During 2023, there was a dip as consumers began to reduce their alcohol consumption post-pandemic, and THC CBD products were introduced into the market, shifting the trend of those products instead of alcohol. In 2025, profits are reflecting of the national trend of reducing alcohol consumption and the impact of THC CBD products. Consumption and trends outlook, we're experiencing a major shift in demographic and consumption. Gen Z and millennial consumers are continuing to moderate their alcohol consumption. 20 years ago, 72% of adults consumed alcohol on a regular basis compared to 62% now. In 2024, 58% of Americans consumed alcohol, down from 67% in 2022 and down 71% from during the 1970s. Our sales are reflecting the same trends. Our outlook also mimics national trends. We expect no and low alcohol beverages to continue to climb as well as the THC, CBD, low dose hemp beverages, and ultimately cannabis. Market outlook, the growth in the non-alcoholic market continues with our low-dose hemp sales up over 25% from 2024. It continues to climb. Beer and spirits declines were comparable to the national average, but our wine sales performed better nationally, but still down about 2% for our operation. Operating a cannabis dispensary should have a positive impact on overall store revenue as we offer products more tailored to fit today's customers' desire. 2025 accomplishments, it was a lot of planning. It was a lot of meeting with you all. There was a lot of reviewing pro formas. Working with consultants and the Office of Cannabis Management has consumed much of our time. Annual events such as our sampling events, Santa at the stores, and yearly operational tasks were completed on a timely and accurate basis also. I also had the opportunity to speak at the State Auditor's press conference regarding municipal liquor operations reports, and our municipal THC low-dose hemp sales were featured in both NPR News and Star Tribune articles. I'm sure everybody's sick of seeing my picture in that one.
Not kids.
Looking forward to 2026, we'll be launching a rebranding of our stores in May of 2026. Renovations will occur at both locations, and we are adding a municipal cannabis dispensary at our Marketplace store. We'll be hosting a delegation of conference attendees to the Beverage Alcohol Retailers Conference in mid-June of 2026. That is a national conference. And I always finish up with the online notification for consumers that I highly recommend that our customers visit our website. You can sign up to receive notifications by text or email. You'll receive announcement about sales, store hours, and newsworthy topics. There are also listings available to select if you wish to receive information from the other city departments. and visitors to our website can also contact us directly via email. And finally, Madam Mayor and council members, 2025 has been an interesting year again for our industry. We're living during a time in history. Alcohol consumption is at historic low levels. Low-dose hemp has become the product of choice for many, and cannabis is legal. Who would have ever thought? The introduction of THC CBD products 2 years ago continued to take the industry by storm. I'm pleased to report the numbers that I have tonight, considering the current retail market we're in now. My prediction for 2026 will be the same as what we experienced in 2025. The trend of declining alcohol sales will continue until distilleries, wineries, and breweries reinvent themselves and produce new and innovative products to spark consumers' interest and realign their prices to reflect consumer spending and consumption trends. THC and CBD consumables will continue to appeal to many customers, and I expect sales to climb during 2026 also. The use of these products by our consumers continue to impact alcohol sales. Cannabis use will likely have an impact on alcohol sales as customers find benefits with its use. Retail establishments must do everything possible to remain relevant and to respond to market trends. How we respond to these trends will determine the level of profitability of our operation and our relevancy to the new generation of consumers. We're up for the challenge. We pride ourselves on our mission and vision statements that guide us in our business decisions. We are surrounded by an association of peers, a group of employees, and continued support of our administration to change these market trends. As always, I encourage our viewers to contact me if we can assist you with anything that would provide a better shopping experience for you and your fellow residents. Thank you for the opportunity to present this report tonight.
Council, any questions for Mr. Larson on what he just shared? Councilor Knighty.
No questions. I actually just have a comment. Recognizing that alcohol sales have been tanking nationwide, the fact that revenues were only down $20,000 is truly impressive. I feel like you should take a minute. And a lot of that is probably due to your leadership, believe it or not.
Mayor and council member, when I was here in July, I wasn't smiling so much and I was wearing my funeral suit. So, I was happy to see the second half of the year rebound. I also realized that we're Minnesotans. And in Minnesota, when we have cold and snow and holidays, we nest and we get together with family. And I think in a lot of ways, that occurred over the holiday season. It was colder earlier, snowy earlier. And I think that people, through moderate consumption, kind of started enjoying a glass of wine and a bottle or a glass of bourbon again. So I think alcohol sales in general are going to be different than they ever were throughout my career. But I think that it'll never go away. And as we reinvent ourselves and as we change our business plan, so to speak, and appeal to a younger generation of consumers, I think we'll be just fine.
Council, other comments from Mr. Larson? Councilor Dillon.
Thank you, Mayor. I too would like to recognize your leadership in getting us through. You can see in this 5-year profit history some ups and downs the last few years. And I also agree, it's amazing that we can come through with such a close to break-even point. And I think that's due to a lot of what you're doing, especially looking at the dip in 2023, but then coming back out of that 2024. I know we have talked extensively about planning for how do we move forward, and I appreciate your leadership in bringing opportunities and talking us through choices that we are making.
Councilor Randall.
Yeah, the last time you gave a report, you did come in with your hair hanging. Looked like you had got whipped. You did. But you know what, Mike? Your numbers have been good for years, and I told you that. I mean, and so for not to show any grace, for all the years that you profited and put back in the community, I mean, come on. I mean, I admire your P&L reports. I wish mine were like that and how you keep your labor like that. But I had no doubt that you would weather the storm, and you did. And so, thank you for that.
Councilor Johnson.
Mike, I just think that a lot of the success through the years, like the graph, it basically shows success. Comes from the fact that you have stores that are welcoming, you have people that work there that are welcoming, and stores are clean and organized, and people will want to go to a place that feels like they're getting good value for what they're buying. And I think your organization lives that philosophy, so I wanted to say thank you for that, and make sure you tell all your employees how I feel about that. Thank you.
I second that. I'm always so impressed with the culture and the sense of welcoming and belonging when you walk into one of our municipal liquor stores.
A lot, it seems like.
I think I might have shared with you one day in December, I stopped into the store and I was there for 75 minutes. Because the staff are so engaging and they answer questions and they're helpful and kind, and I was able to check in about their family, and the culture that has been created in our municipal liquor stores is remarkable. And what I'm really excited is the vision that your team has created for how we can continue to create kind of hubs, community hubs through our municipal liquor stores. And so, in addition to that, you and your team have been on that leading edge of recognizing what are the trends and how do we respond, not before it happens to us and we have to respond, how do we respond proactively based on the data that you're seeing, not only nationally but statewide, and then at the stores, and the feedback in which you hear from customers and how you make those shifts to make sure that those products are welcome. One of my favorite stories, and I think it really highlights your leadership, is I remember when you came to the council meeting and said, I know that these THC beverages are made, but I do not think that we should get into this business. And you were the expert, we trusted you, and a few months later you came back and you said, I made a mistake. My phone won't stop ringing off with residents wanting these products. And so I think your leadership also helped us as council members think differently about how we need to continue to think differently and act faster on being ahead of the trends, so that we can continue to provide the level of service that we are accustomed to in our community and to our customers. And as Councilman Randall said, one of the benefits of the municipal liquor store is how the revenue at the end of the year is reinvested back into our community. It's reinvested back into fund balance that we can utilize to reinvest into the stores, but then it's also reinvested back into our municipal government operations. So thank you for your continued leadership, your optimism, your humor, and the creation of the culture that makes our two stores such a lovely place to be. Would you like to roll into, assuming there's no more questions or comments for Mr. Larson, would you like to roll into our retail cannabis update?
I would if it pleases the council. I'd have it ready to go.
We're excited to hear the update.
All right. Again, so as I mentioned in my annual report regarding the liquor operations, we've met a lot this year, both with the council, with city administration, with vendors, with everybody regarding legalized cannabis and the opportunity for the city to get into the retail sales of it. So tonight I'm just going to cover real quickly the THC cannabis update and overview, the rebrand of the stores, renovations, and a little bit on the budget and the scope.
That store shares a building with the daycare.
So Minnesota Industry News, emerging federal and state legislation may reshape the sale of TH products in 2026. We were faced with the labeling requirements now that are on the low-dose hemp liquids and edibles. At first, we thought that that was gonna create extra costs, create extra regulation. But really, when you look at it from kind of a macro view, we're putting this stuff in our bodies. So it should be tested, it should be checked out, and not necessarily made in somebody's garage and then goes out to market. But, you know, enabling it correctly to make sure that it doesn't get to those underage 21 and just help us with the whole control of these products. So medical cannabis, one thing that happened last year that we weren't expecting, medical cannabis dispensaries are licensed to still sell non-prescription cannabis products first. We had no idea that was gonna happen until I got a phone call going, hey, you can buy this at, Brand X, and I was like, okay. So that was another one that came out of left field. The National Cannabis Regulation and Impact on Minnesota. Again, reclassification of cannabis at the federal level. Will assist us in our market banking procedures. We're hoping that that process continues on so that other forms of payment besides cash can be taken at the point of sale. Our cannabis sales forecast, this one was updated in 11/26 of 24. We currently have our cannabis consultant redoing or updating this particular pro forma. We're asking them to do that whenever the market changes or takes a big shift on us, such as regulations that may change, ordinances that may change, the more dispensaries that open up, anything that would have an impact on our profits and our operation, we'll want to keep you all informed of. So that's happening as we speak. So this one is a little bit outdated. I did speak with him today and we did cover this briefly. We're still confident, but we do realize that some of these figures will change, and I'll explain why coming up in the presentation. So the overview vision for cannabis, much like the liquor stores. We're gonna 3 stores, 1 brand. Rejuvenate image, attract new generation of customers, and reposition the stores competitively. Both liquor locations will be reimagined with fresh energy. New customer generation will be our focus, but we'll still want to build on the heritage of St. Anthony Village Wine and Spirits and the city, because after all, we are municipal and our profits do go back to the city. The community hub, we talked about that a little bit tonight, and it's something we've talked to you about over the whole process of looking at a cannabis dispensary. Tasting events, product demonstrations, seminars, and learning opportunities are key. And they're key to our rebranding so that people understand why we do what we do. The lifestyle focused merchandising with rebranding the stores and remodeling the stores will attract and help us compete with the newer consumers, the newer, younger consumers, and what they're looking for, which has typically been low or no alcohol, but low dose hemp and cannabis. We got a couple of plans up there for you. They're still evolving a little bit, but they're just finishing touches now. But the renovation, the marketplace renovation includes a liquor store, the addition of a cannabis dispensary, and a gathering space. So we'll see a little reduction of liquor merchandise area to accommodate the cannabis store and a larger event and gathering space. We're going to include discrete kiosk ordering and fulfillment for the dispensary, and include community gathering space for sampling events like I mentioned before, but really just a place to connect. When I stood in one of you in a couple of the work sessions, there was talking about board games at the community engagement area, and I've learned that that's very popular right now, and there's something like some speed board games that you can do. So, yeah, we really want people to gather there too. It is a public building, and it's a place for people in the community to come and get together. So, the marketplace location is the southern gateway and easy to access from all the highways in the northeast metro area. We want an inviting atmosphere to encourage browsing, gathering, and return visits. A zoned experience with featured walls and glass dividers to preserve light and openness between the liquor store and the cannabis dispensary. And again, secure entry, display cases, and product storage area, excuse me. The liquor store will be a consistent design to capture the spirit of the brand and deliver a fresh, elevated experience. And I know I'm using that a lot, but that's what we really want for the store, is something different. And then branded feature walls with bold signage that reflects St. Anthony Village's identity and values. And the renovations will include walls, ceiling, flooring, new shelving, cabinetry, efficient customer service area, new signage, exterior and interior, and then electrical and lighting upgrades, and again, the gathering space, furnishings and signage, and potentially point of sale upgrades. We will have to invest in a point of sale for the cannabis because we are required to report on a daily basis to the Office of Cannabis Management what our sales were and what our inventory is. There's a lot of regulations with this. Silver Lake Village, the North Store, there will not be a cannabis dispensary there because we're only allowed one, but the same types of improvements will happen because again, 3 stores, 1 brand. So if you go into the Silver Lake Village store, you'll see a lot of the same fixturing and a lot of the same shelving, the flooring as we have at the marketplace. There just won't be a cannabis dispensary there. But it's just, it'll be 1 mile, 1.75 miles directly south down Silver Lake Road. And there's my cheap commercial for the night. So yeah, that's for Silver Lake Village. And back to the gathering spaces, now I can focus on that a little bit. It's more than a store. We are a place where connection thrives. We want demonstrations to show you how to get the most out of your alcohol, THC, and cannabis products. Seminars and learning sessions to build product understanding and appreciation, and group meetings focused on wellness, community, and shared experience. And your rebrand and renovation team is myself, Brenda, as I mentioned, as our consultant, our fearless leader, Charlie Younker. We have an architect from Ortel, Dan Gruel, Patrick Hurley, who I believe you've all met from Voyager Cannabis Services, Chris Clark from Leroy Signs, Jeremy Reller from Stan Morgan and Associates that does all the shelving and all our cabinetry. I've been doing business with them for almost 40 years of my career. And then now Jeremy I was actually doing business with before Jeremy was born. So he's now taken the reins from his father. Of course, Barb and Ashley, great intern team. We've talked about that already tonight. So it's nice to have access to them and their abilities of taking up those questions. The scope and the budget.